I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Franklin Tourism Commission at 6:02 and proceed with roll call this evening. Starting with Jeff Kudersky.
Present.
Bill Elliott.
Here.
Barbara Wesner.
Here.
Mark Wiley.
Here.
All right. Would you all stand up and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on our agenda this evening is citizen comment period. It is a couple of minutes after 6. We'd like to open up the citizen comment period. Have any citizens comment?
They'll actually be part of agenda item number 4A.
All right. And there's somebody behind you here for a few minutes.
Here.
Came in and I don't.
Right. And I whisper something.
Probably should whispered wrong meeting.
All right. Well, seeing no one ready or available for comment, I'd like to close this comment period and move on to the review and approval of the meeting minutes from the December 11th meeting. The minutes are in the packet.
Motion
Comments?
approved is written.
Okay, I have a motion approved from Mr. Wiley.
I'll second.
Second from Wesner. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Moving on to reports. On agenda item 4, Engage Franklin. Right.
So we had our board meeting on Monday, and that actually served as our annual meeting, which we had to do once a year, an annual meeting. The key thing I want to report, and I'll turn it over to Brandon, is we elected officer of the year. Daryl has decided he's got other activities that are taking a lot more of his time. So he chose not to renew as president. We elected Laura as our president of Engage Franklin for the coming 2 years. The rest of the officers stayed the same. I'm still vice president. Brandon's still the executive director. We, during the meeting, we voiced a lot of support for Brandon. He's doing a great job, I think. Got a lot of things that are in the pipeline coming to be, and we spent some time talking about his goals as well as the budget. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Brandon, to summarize that.
So we're going to go over the statement of activity of 2024. Starting off with our total revenue of $204,991 to you guys on in relation to that, our quarter 3 and quarter 4 income comes in January, February, accounted as December 3. That's why it is lower than what we actually got in 2020. In total advertising and marketing, we spent $10,404. That's from social media posts, ads, and stuff like that. Some good news in that standpoint, when you type in what to do in Franklin, Wisconsin right now, our website is coming up as 4th. First got the job, it didn't even show up. So, yeah, Celebrate Franklin actually shows up. So that's good. Thousands of people are going into our website and that we exist. So, and then our contracts and professional fees and $146,139.03. A bulk of that is our reimbursement to Rock that helped Engage Franklin get off the ground. So then we just paid them back, and our executive director stipend was between Laura when she was it, and then me when I got the job in August. Also, another bulk of that was our website creation. To create the website, that was a period of time. And our office expense was $4,392.22. That expense is basically just membership and subscriptions, stuff I need for editing videos, software stuff for that, rights. Like, I can't just take something off Google and post it. If that's someone else's work, they could say, well, that's mine. So I gotta purchase platforms that allow me to have those. Another thing, our travel was $525.33, and that was when I went to the Wisconsin Business Fall Conference, the conference where other people like me are in attendance. I got good advice at that put conference, informative, and I actually learned a lot being new to it. And having people like me as well kind of helped. I'm not alone, so it was actually a good conference. That's it for our total expense. So the goals, like what Mark was saying, for 2025, I put up, me and Laura kind of, like, I asked her for advice, hey, since you've been in the industry, what kind of goals do you think? And then she kind of gave me advice, and then I put it on myself. So I want to sign one more event by the end of 2025. Spoke to the board, we probably want to sign 2 more. That's more realistic, and not to have the event by 2025, just a event that comes in. So it could be 2026, 2027. That's more of an attainable goal and not attainable. And I want to generate at least 3 leads per month. So leads is someone that I reach out to an event and they reach out back with interest, and we get talking. And 3 per month, because you know how deals go. Sometimes they could go to the very last minute. So at least 3 leads per month can give us a good pool. I want to attend 1 community event per month, 12 events for the year, depending on schedule. I could attend 2 a month, or just I want to just hit 12. So it averages out to 1. And I want to secure 1 signed partnership per month. So as you guys know, we had a partnership program, we launched it, and I want to sign 12 new ones every year. And new ones meaning by, like, people re-signing. Obviously, there's only so many businesses signing. So that's kind of the goals that I had for 2025. Except for myself. Update, Novena is officially coming. They're coming to Franklin, Wisconsin. And this is kind of their words, so you guys know what exactly they do. So I got this. This is their words. Novena aims to make skiing, snowboarding affordable for communities by offering a massive gear sale on equipment for up to 70% off. In addition, regional and national ski resorts provide exceptional deals and discounts on lift tickets, lodging, and season passes, making it easier for families to book vacations and get on the slopes. Over the years, the event has helped thousands of skiers and snowboarders get into the sport and drive business to local realtors, manufacturers, and ski areas. So now that you guys have an idea of who they are and what they're going to do for us. Not only that, like they said, I don't know if you guys seen online or on our Facebook, our hotels in Crystal Ridge have partnered to create a stay and play package. So basically, it's a package, it's almost like a resort style deal where you purchase a package, you get to stay the night at a discounted rate, go tubing for 2 hours, have a all-day lift ticket, you can use it that day or the following day, and you get rentals. So not only that, like I was saying, the same pay package, now we could promote that in November when it comes next year, November. And not only that, it's in November where people are getting ready to hit the season of skiing, snowboarding, and stuff. So it's kind of perfect timing. Snowband does it on purpose. That's why they plan it for November, because they know people are itching to get back out there and ski and stuff.
Is there snow on the hill?
Yes, they
There
make
is,
their own
Yeah,
stuff.
they've got it.
Yeah, and we booked So we launched this like probably middle December. I launched the campaign December 19th. By December 31st, we got 12 books. I haven't had an update since. I'll get an update. The next update, January 30th.
Are these bookings for the Snowvanna event? Or?
No. This is Crystal Ridge and our
Crystal
hotels.
Ridge. Okay, the hotels. Got it. All right.
So they book a package and they get to stay overnight and go skiing.
Got it.
I think what he was saying was we'd be able to promote the same thing during Snowvanna
Yes.
Right.
in the fall.
So now
Got it.
next year will be even better because now we have this snow event that has skiing and snowboarding, and we have those people that really like that. So that target audience is there. We can just promote it.
Database
Mhm.
or
Do they book through you guys, Engage Franklin for this package, and then you contact the hotels, or do they deal with hotels directly? Or how's that work?
No, I just basically put the marriage together. I said, hey, Crystal Ridge, I got an idea. Hey, hotels, I got an idea. And then they did.
Okay.
So I think they booked through Crystal Ridge, and then the hotel, it gives them a link to the hotel, and then they book. Is there things that can be better? Of course. No, but it is the first time they did.
Any business in the winter?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take that. And so this is kind of their projection. Snowvanna Awards, their projection of how it's going to help us. Snowvanna would drive a massive economic impact by bringing national snow sports companies and brands to Franklin, Wisconsin. We expect Snowvanna staff and exhibitors to book around 100 plus room nights, estimated at 100 per night at local Franklin hotels, resulting in over $10,000 in tourism dollars. I think it's going to be a little more, but it's good to be a little conservative to the local market. In addition, so now this is the kick. Not only they're bringing Snowvanna, they're now having another event and bringing all ski resorts nationally into Wisconsin. So they got to stay in a hotel as well. So that's in addition to Snowvanna. So this is called, the Snowvanna will be hosting a marketing summit alongside, it's called the MSAA, the Midwest Ski Areas Association, the week of the event. This will bring in the top ski resorts marketing executives from over 20 plus ski areas around nationally and the Midwest, leading to more bookings. So now we're getting 2 in 1. We're getting 2 events in 1, so now there's even more bookings. Our target markets are Chicago, Illinois, Madison, Wisconsin, Rockford, Illinois, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's kind of our 60-mile radius target audience for. And staying in the event package, MKE Golf Shows are returning back in March. I keep forgetting the weekend. I think it's the weekend of both. But they will be returning. We have a booth there, and we promote local businesses in that booth. Now going on to the visitors guides. So me and Laura talked about it. She came up with the idea, and I thought it was brilliant. She said, we're going to go with 3 images for the visitors guide. So meaning, if we print out 3,000, 1,000 books each have a different image. With the cover image. Yes.
these are graphic designers, so we don't have to pay the extra money to rework and rework and rework. So we may as well have 3 different audiences, and if Milkman game, we have that. If we're going to, Village Center, whatever, that will have the appropriate, and then a variety will be.
And that will be printed in April. So now, last thing, our partnership program. So far, we got 3 partnerships signed and ready to go with us, and we have 3 to be determined. The 3 are Mulligan's, Crystal Ridge, and Point Apple.
Can you define the partnership program again? Can you just,
Yep.
for everyone's benefit?
So the partnership program is, we got the executive partnership, we got the premier partnership, we got the enhanced partnership, and the standard. I don't know exact details, but I can tell you, so the executive partnership, you're obviously going to get more benefit. You pay $1,000 if you're a business, $800 if you're a nonprofit, and with that $1,000, you get a full page in the visitor's guide ad. So full page is left and right, so both sides. Then you get $500 worth of boosted ad marketing. So in reality, we're only really getting $500. in that package because now $500 is to what do you want to boost? That like say Mulligan's has a special, we spend that money on that. Like through Engage Franklin, hey, Mulligan's got a special, we're boosting it for the weekend, etc. So they got $500 on what they want to choose and to spend it on using our platform. Then we're throwing in some like 2 Milkman games thing for 4 tickets, just like kind of like a thank you. Okay, go enjoy a baseball game. And there is something else, but I could send that over. Or next meeting I could come bring it up and talk to you guys about it. I don't have that right
And they also get listed on the website.
now. Yes, that's another thing. So if you look at our website, you're going to see a big ad space on top and a big ad space on the bottom. So you get the top, bottom, and what relates to your business. So for example, you're a play, you're golf, right? And you go to play, you will see the golf ad there as well. So not only you get it in the main page, you get it in the play page as well. Like say you're you're point after and you have a burger and you want to promote something. So not only you're in the main page, you're also in the so and it's big. I mean, you guys could check it out yourself. I have the same play package on right now. So you guys can see what pretty cool. And then after that's Premier package. So basically that one is again full page ad left and right. And in the executive package you get once-a-month content creation. So I go to the business once a month. I take pictures. I make videos. I make edits. Whatever you want me to do, I send you that, and you can do whatever you want.
What are we charging for this app tier?
1,000.
Pretty good deal.
1,000 for a year.
Now,
Yeah. So you get once a month contact. So you get pictures. Whatever you want. I have a professional camera. We do this on the side as well, so they're going to get good stuff. And then the Premier package is full ad page from left and right, and every 6 months I go and give you. So every 6 months I'll go and give you content. Those are the only 2 things. Then the enhanced package is a half a page. So half a page is just one full, and you get that. That's for $200. And then the standard is a quarter.
is the guide? Am I thinking of is the guide itself printed version the standard? Is it more like
8x11.
this looking?
like this,
Or
like-
no, it is 8x11.
Yeah, 8x11. And
So when you say 2 sides,
It's like a
if I-
two-page
if
spread.
I open
2
it,
page.
it's 2 pages.
Yeah,
It's,
so you get the full thing. And yep, that's it.
And aside from that, Brandon's got a number of other things he's chasing, talking about pickleball tournament
Yeah.
and things like that. So he's got a number of irons in the fire, a lot of emails flying back and forth, and they'll become solid. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And he'll be attending Sports Symposium.
In April.
Yeah.
that's the one you've been to.
Yeah, that's like the mini dates with Bright.
Yeah.
So I think we summed up the meeting by saying that everybody's very happy with Brandon. Brought a lot of excitement to the position and looking forward to next year. And Laura's going to bring something that Daryl didn't have, and that's time.
I don't really have that much of that.
But she's got a
Oh,
lot of
really?
experience and also the ties to Visit Milwaukee.
Right.
And so that'll be a benefit to all of us too.
So the report we just heard, the financial report, was the engagement. It's your fiscal or your fiscal year end report. Is that right?
We're doing it on a calendar basis.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
so we
was
just
through
ended the
end of
year.
December.
Yeah. And the revenue was pretty easy to come up with. We're going to give them.
Yeah.
That's the revenue. And then
now this year we have and the pickleball hopefully is fine. We're trying to diversify our revenue.
And you also did this annual meeting. Did you approved a budget then for 2025, is that right?
We
That's
did
what-
that last.
Last
we
meeting.
did that.
We did that last
yeah.
meeting, yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
So yeah, that obviously we're budget, but yeah.
Are we able to get a copy of the, what you just previewed? Is that,
The statement of activity, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go outside of our agreement as far as information sharing, but is that part of it?
It
It is part of the agreement
yeah,
for,
for
to
the
have those
budget to be
financial.
presented to us.
Go to Ian. Yep. And then summary.
I email it to you.
Yeah, if you email it to John, then he'll handle us. Keeps us straight.
Well, I'll get it out to you anyway.
Yeah. Where's Snovonic being held, actually?
I'm not.
It did not.
They originally worked, they know the owner of Crystal. That's how it came about. They're really close with Riley as well. They worked with Riley in the past at Crystal Ridge. So the idea is like having that right next. So they kind of like worked out their stuff, and they're working right now as we speak, and bringing that association, the ski resort association, to life in our hotels.
You know where they're meeting? At
So they haven't figured it out. But if we have space in the hotel, if not,
Not for that many.
How
I
many?
would like recommend Polish Center,
yeah,
Or,
we could
you know.
Yeah.
meet somewhere like that as well.
somewhere that really shows up,
Yeah.
Franklin.
Or-
You know,
And I forgot, they're also doing like kind of like a party in a sense of like everybody, like all the resorts, all that stuff, and most probably will be at Brew River. So like now they're moving to another business in Franklin, and it will help them as well. So I gave them that because I felt like, oh, there's bowling, there's a bar, there's 2 bars, so
Yeah.
like there's more space, you know,
Right.
you can enjoy your time there, and it's literally right next door.
And this little gathering is for the people, the resorts
people-
that are attending, for them to sort of,
Yeah, so he said, I think we just had a meeting today. I think it's like after the event, like kind of like a celebration of the event. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It could be before. It could be because they're coming 3 days before the event. They got to get set up,
right?
get things going. So it could be before, but it's some sort of celebration.
All right.
So, yes, so now Brew River can get that. And I could bring up the Polish for the
How many people do you think will be attending that?
So he has it here. So he has 20 plus ski areas around nationally in the Midwest for that association. So how many people? If 1 per person per ski resort, then plus 2 come per ski resort, it could be 40 plus.
Yeah.
But I can ask him again for them. But yeah, I think this is a relationship we want to keep. They want to stay long term. They don't want a one and done. They want to make it Snovana, Wisconsin. They like Wisconsin. They like the stats. They like the stats, over stats. But they love that there's a lot of skiers. They were actually talking about how like the Midwest has a lot of skiers and a lot of people that love to ski. That's why they want it. And they want to stay here for a long time. Like they're from Portland, so they have Snovana Portland, and then they expanded to Seattle last year, and now that's called Snovana Seattle, and they want ours to be called Snovana Wisconsin.
So those are the only 3
Yep.
locations at this
Yep.
point.
Right now there's 2,
Okay.
and then we'll be the
number
3rd. Yep.
Okay.
So that's why it's a very unique sense where there's not that many out there. They don't have like one in every state. Like, there's not like one in Chicago, so we're not competing. Like if anything, Chicago is our clientele to try to get this.
Get 'em up, yeah. Nice.
I have a question too. I spent some time on the website yesterday. And is that basically the visitor guide? Or
This guy is a physical.
is a physical thing?
Yeah.
And what's on the website is separate?
I mean, I guess the same information
Uh-huh.
in a way, website is more flexible that I could update things. Visitor guide,
Right, right.
you know, so like what's in the visitor guide is gonna be there for.
Mhm.
So that's why, like, whoever like puts an ad in the visitor guide, that ad for a year, or they do something. But something in like the website, like say they want to change their graphic or something, I can change it like this.
The reason I'm asking is because under the shopping area, the beef jerky was listed, and I didn't see a lot of other shopping opportunities listed. I mean, I'm just not quite sure if I'm missing things, or
There's
if
room to
it,
build for sure. So we
Yeah.
started with like a baseline of content, right? So please feel free to reach out to Brandon if you like. Obviously, you can do some exploring, but
Yeah.
we want to encourage when he's out in the community for our community partners to get on there. And if your business isn't represented, please let us know.
okay, it
Do
seemed
you
like
know what
there
I
were,
mean?
yeah, it seemed like there were a lot
Yeah.
of business not represented. A
Yeah.
few businesses there that are closed.
Okay.
So I think that's why,
Yeah.
especially restaurants.
Yeah, I mean that's. I've been trying to keep up.
Mhm.
Obviously, it helps when we reach out.
Mhm.
So like our event calendar, what you see is. So I tried to reach out in the beginning, try to Google, and I did that, but after like going to board meetings and board meetings, focus my main energy should be like bringing events.
Mhm.
So I put that kind of to the back skill in, honest, like kind of keeping up with that because, you know, we don't have a team. So if someone emails me saying, hey, I'm not listed, okay. Simple as that. Like people contact me, I'll do it. And I do try to, I got a list originally when I first got the job. When I see theirs, what I think is in wrong, frankly. I mean, I've driven around and try to see, but
Well, we can make it valid point. Like we could, there's a small amount of time that can be dedicated to,
yeah.
right? Like that's pretty. And we can also utilize like Michelle Eichmann board, like so aware of everything that's right finger on the pulse. So she'd be happy if we sat with her for hours.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. Any help, the best.
Is there a way to make it known to the community that they should be talking to you and letting you know about their businesses?
So I have been trying to put it on social media and stuff, and like reaching out. If you know of a better way,
Can you get
feel
something
free.
into the Franklin newsletter? There should be another one coming out. in a month
Didn't
or
we
so.
get-
also.
Well, there was a very nice article there.
On the front page of the last news.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a nice article, but
Yeah.
did that actually ask community people and
I don't
businesses
recall.
to respond?
That'd be nice
I
with a
don't
follow
think
up
so.
though. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
that
it
would
would
be
be.
nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I mean, stuff like that will help.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm doing what I see, what I can. I don't just like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is, in the budget working budget that you approved for 2025, is it just the staffing level is still going to be basically
We
random?
don't have much to play with in this
Yeah.
coming year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to be mission focused, and only do so much, right? So, and Brandon has balance with marketing and stretching $1. So that's kind of the plan for 2025 is to stretch it as far as we can with his existing talent, and then internship would be possible.
Yeah, I have looked into the possibility of that. I learned that the other DMOs do that. They kind of like work with like the local colleges, community colleges, where they're in a marketing class, social media class, graphic design class, and they need credits. So they're looking for businesses and organizations to help give that student credit. So I have heard that before. I'm not so sure on like the legal elastics of the intern. Do you have to pay them at least something or not? Like stuff like that, I'll have to figure out. And I think that's something that we should. I was more thinking like after a year, but before a year, perfect.
And there is some people on this commission that have experience, with other DMOs, and I really appreciate the lean and mean operating, trying to make do with what you have. I do know that effort you're describing, visitor guide and website, really, really time-consuming stuff. I mean, I know it, right? It's, I mean, some of this is coming out right now. You got a town of 36,000, and you spread out over 25 square miles, and there's a lot going on, or assets out there, and things are changing hands, and trying to update, keep on top of that, and launch this thing. Where I'm going with this is what I've seen with really some smaller DMOs just getting started is they look at outsourcing some of the labor-intensive tasks, and through a contractor, and the executive director, is out there doing what you're doing, which is making contacts, securing partnerships, basically being the face of the organization and raising awareness and coordinating all of it. So I just put it out there because it sounds like there's a lot of good stuff that has to happen in over this year and going into next year, and we're also deciding what to do with things budgetary wise, and where that makes sense. So maybe that makes sense. Some of the things you're doing right now, because those are important things. That website, I think we'd all agree, and the visitor guide are foundational aspects of a marketing program. They're sort of the entry level. You have to have those things right before you move on, and I know those are important. I just put that out there as something to consider, and through Mark, come back to this commission and about what you want to accomplish in 2025, and what you really think one person can get done with the support of a board, and is there opportunities for help in inserting somebody else, and I say somebody else, I mean a contractor to help. I'm not talking about hiring additional staff.
That makes sense. Like the marketing for Urbana, they have an agency.
Yeah.
And their agency came up with the numbers that I that's yeah, I mean that's something not cheap though.
No, that's for sure, right?
Those marketing agencies are.
You can find. I mean, that's what I use. You can find local people that will do this on a contract basis. The majority is working from home. You're less than $20 an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people out there. It's just you got to find them. But I mean, there's people looking. That's what some of these jobs they like that because they can work from home. It's just a contract basis.
Yeah.
And it's just okay. It's just paid for performance.
And then I give them a project.
Yeah, and then they report a timesheet. I had good luck with that. I had two. And then they find something that's like right out of college and experience or high school. I mean, it's even high school students have a lot of knowledge, especially with social media, and that would be able to help. Even if they just run their Facebook page, target marketing, or running emails out, or just like I said, even like on Facebook, if you just make a statement on the page saying, "Hey, if your business is not local, please give me an email," and they can monitor that. So that works out really well. Young people are a lot better than I think. I don't know.
Well, I was
And
involved.
you met my girl, like the girl that I played.
Is that the one that I'm super?
I've seen this in action. Northwestern Illinois. It takes 4 counties just to get enough hotel rooms to have one organization called Visit Northwest Illinois, and the budget's pretty skinny. Even after being a mature organization, I think they're working with $190,000. Okay. They pay an executive director, and actually they've got a support person. That's it. But the way that they make that all work, and they produce a very nice visitor guide, and they have a kick-butt website, is they use a company. It's a company out of North Dakota that they had a relationship with, but they help with content creation. The guide, they sell the ads in the guide. You have to And then they monitor the website, and they make updates, changes, they even do backside sort of, apply patches, security updates, all that good stuff. And it's not outrageous. I mean, it's, they budget that amount in, and obviously they've got ongoing sources of revenue, and the guide itself offsets its costs with advertising. So that's a mature type of model, but it works, and they can then just have an executive director that really runs the show and is able,
Oversee.
yeah, and is able to oversee. And this is 4 counties, Now, again, I don't think there's any one town in those 4 counties that has more than 16,000 people, but for the territory. And anyway, so it works for them. So I've seen that, and Bill, you probably know of a couple of places too in Wisconsin doing something similar.
We all are to an extent, I think, right? There's even the larger associations. I won't speak for Visit Milwaukee, but I'll bet you they've got contractors too doing some of that, right? As just or ad agencies or whatever. It's just at what scale. I'm happy to help share any research.
I have a question too that somewhat related here. In our minutes from last month, there was supposed to be a follow-up with Gapril Marketing. And where is that, or has that been done?
We did
Their
discuss
contact?
that at the Engage Franklin board.
Uh-huh.
And we don't see how her activity generate overnight. More of a, hey, you live in Greendale, here's what's going on in Greendale. We don't see an opportunity.
I was just asking for a follow-up because it was in the minutes last time.
Good point.
Yeah, we had, and it's kind of the same discussion we had here. Doesn't generate overnight stays. Engage Franklin board felt the same.
Has she been contacted?
Not,
Will she
I
be?
don't-
I mean, she should be since she did come to.
We should.
We'll see.
I can send you a note, John. Because you probably got her contact info.
Can I ask about Snowvanna really quick? I'm just curious, like, what's your buy-in to that? Are you paying them to come here, or are we helping market the event and getting people here? What's the...
Yes, we're helping market. We're cover the rental deposit and their stay. And I want to give them like $10,000 with the marketing, but with our platform. So the reason why I want our platform, I want our platform to be a trusted source of event, something like that they see it, and like not just give them $10,000, hey, go market. Like I want to use our platform for that purpose of people seeing, wow, look at Engage Franklin, post an event like Snowvanna. Let me see. And not only that, I want to treat Snowvanna right in a way of like, yeah, we're paying for their employees' pay, but they're bringing us over 100 vendors, possibly, and if we treat them right and we treat them like good and like in my terms like a big leaguer, they're gonna talk. They know me. They talk, say, Engage Franklin is a great place to have an event, and it just starts spreading. Like they know another event owner. That event owner knows someone else. So, I like to treat people right, and if we could treat them right and have their stay and their event as smooth as it possibly can, it never goes perfect, but and they feel good, that's just gonna trickle down and help us. So yes, we're giving them some money, but I think they're gonna contribute a lot more than what.
I wonder, I'm not an expert in this, and maybe Laura is, I'm not sure, but the state has the matching grant, the GEM grant program, so.
Yeah, we are in
might just be really good.
yeah. We're actually gonna apply for that. Actually had a meeting about that today.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Brandon, anything else?
Everything off the top of my head, as
All right.
updated as I possibly do.
Thank you, Bert. for the report. Well, moving on then to unfinished business, and maybe this is just a good time, John, to make a mention of the, everyone should have received email from the city of Franklin asking you to take the oath of office for your commission, and also probably came along with a financial disclosure.
We haven't seen the financial disclosure.
No, I haven't either.
You have.
I've taken the vote.
I wonder if mine was actually
Well,
it might be, because maybe I needed to provide it.
did you do the financial last year?
Yeah, well, I looked for, I usually copy those things. I couldn't find a 2024
Okay.
copy.
But last year it came a little bit late.
Okay.
But I know the oath of office I just got end of December, January.
So, we have a few people have been able to do that? Or,
I did mine right before the meeting last month, so if that
Good.
counts for this.
Mark, do you still?
I did
No, you did.
I did the oath.
Okay.
Do we have to do the financial statement every year?
I thought so. Seems like it's,
Seems
Yeah,
like it has
yearly.
been every year.
I know form I was sent to 2023 on it, and I lined through it for 2025. I wanted to make it good for 2025.
I've been through.
So, all right, so if you, like myself, if you haven't quite got there yet, that schedule, this tomorrow. And done. But it's interesting, when this came, it didn't come along with a request for the financial
No,
disclosure.
the only thing I had was a letter saying I had to report to the
Yeah.
oath.
I wonder if that's gonna come out like around April. As I looked in previous years, looked like
Yeah.
somewhere around April was when that came out. And I don't know if that coincides with it. All right. Well, for those of you that took care of that, thank you. The rest of us will. Under unfinished business, item A is the continuing discussion.
Actually, can I interject? Last year it came out around the middle of March.
Middle of March.
That's my email from Shirley said you have to answer the question yes or no, because I remember I did it on my iPad. Some of the things didn't come through, so it came through as an empty answer. Got all upset.
It has to be turned in by you. Maybe we got
Well,
it in
this
March.
was March 15th that she was chiding to get it done.
All right.
So
It was early.
if that helps.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking I did it last year, but this is closer to when that was.
She's been pretty good about following up if you didn't do it. Like she's standing
Getting into picking up this investment vision funds discussion. Just based on the report we just had from Engage Franklin, the investment vision discussion was, I think, came about because you're looking at bigger projects, benefit from a bigger fusion of funds than a series of small projects over the next however many. But something's just occurred to me that I'll put out there. How we actually create this vision. That's where we're at. How do we generate this investment vision so that as projects come our way, or we solicit projects, they fall with vision. Something that occurred here is there's a lot of work doing the infrastructure type work, and we support obviously our funding or through the arrangement. But if there are projects that need to be launched that would be ongoing, would be supported by ad revenue. Just wanted to get your thoughts on whether part of this investment might include some activities going on. Franklin, which we've always had the discussion that they've got a major happening. They could come to us, right, and talk about it more on a project, but I do know that what Brandon is undertaking, very, I mean, it takes time.
Ambitious.
There's lots of ambitious. And I applaud, again, trying to get a lot done. But concern I think I have, what you're experiencing now on the website, things that just being, where's the time to read through some of this stuff and to get it done? So I just put out there that, they need some help doing this.
I had a very similar thought about we invest some of it in helping to kickstart Engage Franklin more, make it something sustainable so they can hire back or permanently or hire people down the line, whatever it may be. And how do we use that to kickstart it? Is it funding an initiative to help them find more events to come to Franklin, or to do more marketing that will result in more people coming here and more room tax revenue coming back to make that circle complete? I mean, I'd much rather see that than see us sitting on it for 10 years trying to figure out what to do with it. that's
Well, and even in listening to the Premier Partnership Program, awesome idea, and but I'm wondering what was the guiding, where did the parameters come from? Who?
We spent a lot of time talking about how much money these partners would want to spend.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up at 1,000.
No, I think it's a great, listen, as I'm listening to everything, so here's where I'm going with this. As I listen to everything you get, I'm going, oh, this is, I guess what I'm saying is, I've seen enough of visitors' guides, right? I've never opened a visitor's guide where there have been multiple pages of a 2-page spread separated by a couple of staples that is dedicated to one advertiser. There might be a centerfold, there might be a premium front page, back page, inside back page, inside front page, and maybe the center. And you sell those, and you sell the heck out of those. But to have 10 premier partnerships, for example, start doing the math. That's 20 pages of advertising in a director, and how many pages are you putting out? So I guess what I'm saying is, awesome idea, great idea, but it's almost too lucrative. It's like, yeah, your premier partner maybe have a full page. But whether you're going to offer 2 pages, that may work when you only have 3 premier partners, but when you have 10, and now you've got 20 pages devoted to great advertising.
Publishing an encyclopedia.
Yeah, exactly. And so all I'm saying is that would come from, this is where outside resources that do this kind of thing would say, oh no, think 5 years from now, you cannot be giving everybody 2 pages. And they wouldn't expect it, and it's overkill. I think if you gave me a page and you said, pay me $1,000, I'd be like, yeah, that's not a bad deal. And so that's where I'm going with this. And now's the time to interject on things like that, because 5 years from now or 3 years from now, it's a little harder to make changes, or you do, but you lose partners because they're looking to a pretty lucrative situation. So anyway, that's what got me thinking about it, is that it's helpful in the beginning to have some professional, or at least somebody that done this before. So to your point, is there some investment we can do in Engage Franklin to get them to a point where somebody like Brandon can on the show,
right,
and have all these other resources.
Might be worth having that discussion with him after he does that 14 show. He's going to come back from that with a lot of business cards and a lot of ideas and a lot of interest, hopefully, from other people. That's what Laura found when she went last year.
That's coming up, right? That's in February? Or is this March?
March. Okay. That might be.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like have that. I can't remember the lady's name that spoke to us. Is there opportunity for her to change her, booklet to a visitor guide versus,
straight advertising?
Straight advertising. that may be,
Lifestyle.
instead of doing it towards just individual, you live in Greenfield, why don't she, I mean, maybe she doesn't want to, but you can find somebody like that would help. And you don't want it to fail, but you want a nice presentation, and it's a big part of. But maybe they present, an opportunity for us to help them. Say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Help me, like another. I want to go with this idea. Support this, and we would approve it or not approve it. Just saying, for a project basis, they would like to do it. That might help us, help them, help what our goal.
I mean, what I've found in the years over here, part is the graphic design, and that's Brandon's specialty. So when I say easy, I mean the design ads for folks with graphic. What seems the challenging part, and the part that you pay for somebody's expert layout and vibe or feel, like how's it read? How's it set up? Does it start by talking about the area first, and then the various stay, play, those sections, and then what are those sections like? Like what does every asset get for a listing? How consistent is that? Because we were talking about chain versus local, and there was some talk about giving preference to local listing. So that layout's critical, I think, because it's what the guide is all about, how you can use it to find, and that usually comes from folks that know what they're doing. I mean, they've seen it, advertorial content.
Wasn't that Laura's strong suit when she took the position initially?
I think. So maybe there can be input there, but that work it seems like that legwork has to be done, because people are going to ask, and folks are going to compare their list. Wonder why didn't I get that out? So that's where I could see, the help, and it's the layout. What is it?
I'm puzzled too about talking about the guide. Is it going to be a compilation of lots of ads, or will there be actual written content that I would imagine the premier advertisers would have that opportunity? But I don't know. I'm not clear as to what he's really putting out there. I know Bob Capriel's magazines that she's done. She's got like maybe 4 or 5 major advertisers, and then they're given a page of content, not just ad.
Right.
So I'm not sure what this. Do you have an idea?
I haven't seen it for 2 months. We didn't talk about it this past week. But my understanding was there would be a listing that shows is the restaurant or the hotels. There would be a write-up on some of them. If they didn't like where they were located, talk about moving up. I don't know the mechanics, so that's something to find out. But I think that's why he's saying it's not going to print until April, because he wants to have people look at it. The last time I saw it was back in November. I sent you for the draft. So I can find out.
Yeah, because usually a directory like that will have a cover director, right? So Brandon saying, "Welcome to Franklin," and then there are some parts of a guide like that can't be advertised a little content. Like I'm thinking our parks. There's no central. I mean, there's the Parks District, right? But they're not in the business of So there's probably it lends itself to describing our natural wonders here in Franklin, and then getting into listings for the Parks and Rec.
I will say too, tonight was the first time I heard there was going to be that for the premier partner. Yeah, I thought it was going to be this for the premier partner for another person. Yeah. So,
and maybe that's the way it is. Maybe I misheard that, but
I think it is.
But I thought he did. Showed us that it was going to be a full. But I was thinking, it's a smaller version, and so
That's what I was. I mean,
then opened up. Okay, you got 8.5 by 11 landscape
right
portrait.
So you're right, you're gonna start getting 20 pages of just their partners, and you're gonna have room for
Right.
content, so
No cost.
Your printing cost is gonna be
almost better
really
off
high.
looking at that again and saying, well, maybe.
I don't think we want to micromanage him, but we want to
Right.
give feedback and
I'll
give
find
him
out.
some resources to
Right.
get some of those tips
Yeah.
along the way.
And that might be part of why Carol decided he didn't want to be president. Running out of time. Because he's got 3 other things he's doing besides that. I'll find out.
I'm going to revert back to my former career with the South Suburban Chamber. And the Chamber put out a directory every 2 years. Advertising, content. We talked about transportation, what a wonderful place it is, and parks and all. There was a lot of written content that was not paid for. It was just there. I'm trying to, this sounds like it's going to be the same sort of thing. Now, I don't know, because I've been away from the Chamber for almost 6 years. But maybe you know, have you been approached about any ads for a new Chamber directory? Okay, so I don't know if they're
They're
doing
putting
one.
out every 2.
It was every 2 years.
Yeah, so it could be in between. We haven't been.
Contacted. You would be contacted.
Yeah.
So with the, so I don't know. I mean, it's just that
Lots
this
of
is,
digital.
yeah, I know.
It's just based on your membership.
A lot of digital, and that's why it's easier to print it. So that's why when you do a print version, you can't really have events because it changes. So
Right.
it is more just a
Right.
guide listing, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's member driven rather than the entire community and everyone.
Yeah.
The Chamber worked with an organization called Village Profile out of Illinois somewhere. And they did all the advertising, which was wonderful. They did the advertising, they collected, all the, we did the content.
I was just going to ask, so you
Text.
provided those written chunks in there?
Yes, the written chunks were on my meat.
Wow.
And then the Chamber simply received somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 as a percentage of the advertising.
Oh,
But we really had, and then it was sent out to, I think it was every business and household. Maybe I'm exaggerating.
no, I think that's right. We'd get one in the mail and then we would ask for some.
Yes,
That just
you'd
had
have
to
some.
pass out and you would bring some back.
I was just trying to put this guide in,
Right.
to figure out, is that in competition? Will it be? I don't know. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if that.
Well,
if
but I thought
that's-
yours had more of a chamber feel and focus, because it
Yeah.
did seem like it was more, well, I mean, it listed everything, but I mean,
Mhm.
it did seem with the content that you had, it was more about some opportunities that were available business to business, as well as events. So it felt more like a chamber publication to me,
Mhm.
but it was the finest thing we had in the area,
I thought so.
I
Anyway,
will say that.
so maybe they're not doing it anymore, and this is going to step in and fill in that gap.
Going back to the vision, so can I just open this up and maybe we can make some progress on, can I get suggestions from you all on how you think we should proceed with creating this vision for these retained funds? And in light of current events with Engage Franklin trying to get their legs underneath them and requests that we're already starting to receive from organizations in the area, and the desire, as you said, Bill, not to sit on making impact now when we all could use it as a city could use, city tourism assets could really use for those. What are some thoughts as to how do we develop that? What does that look like within?
I guess the first thing I'd ask is how much control do we have over these dollars? Because they're sitting in the city right now, aren't they?
The city is just a repository to it.
All right.
You have the spending authority.
So the city is holding the dollars. Are we earning anything as a result?
I gotta check. I don't
Probably not.
know.
Is it legal for us to take those dollars and put them into an investment vehicle? No.
No, but we could do that with Engage Franklin, depending what we decide we want to have done with the money. If we want to make that their reserves that they're investing and making some money, I don't think there'd be an issue with that. But it's a lot of money to be sitting on, right? So I think it's, I think a reserve is probably an unreasonable amount of reserve. So,
That's why it's sort of, something I'd like to move along here, because we should work on it, and start.
Engage Franklin does not have a reserve right now. So they're literally living hand to mouth. I mean, they're waiting for our checks.
There isn't going to be one this month because there haven't been any receipts in since the last check.
Yeah.
I get it this month.
So we have gone out and collected data on tourism, the tourism market, a little bit more on the market, economic, the economy itself, but also specific tourism markets. And the question was last meeting, do we have the ability to look at Engage Franklin's strategic plan? Some of us participated in to develop. I think we're going to check on that.
Yeah, I
Asked
did not get a satisfactory. I did ask that, and
so what's not satisfactory answer? No, or
I didn't get something to say this is what the plan is. I have to go back. I asked and didn't get an answer, and so therefore I'm neglectful.
But you just walked away from that interaction feeling like there wasn't a good answer to give me, or there wasn't a answer that they could
No,
just give you.
I think that I made the request and he forgot about it.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not like you heard the answer and go, oh, that doesn't.
No,
Okay.
I think he forgot about it, and then I promptly forgot about it with the holidays and stuff, so I'll go back and ask again.
well, it's probably more of a question for the board.
Yeah. Oh, and Laura probably has it.
Chairman.
Yeah.
Well,
I did not ask her. I asked.
But it's not a sourcing decision, it's a policy decision
Yeah.
Right.
that a board would make.
Yeah.
It hasn't been released. So
I don't know if it's been released, and I just don't have it. So.
And in our oversight capacity,
Mhm.
I think we're picking up that they should have a strategic plan.
Well,
as
they
to
do.
what. Yeah. Well,
There is a strategic plan because we spent 2 days developing it.
right.
I just don't know where it is.
I think typically in the nonprofit world, right, your board helps direct and set your strategic plan, but Brandon's shoes, their role now to fulfill that and execute it and report it back to his board and us. And I would put that in his. And that's my job, right? That's what I have to do. So I would put that on him and help guide him along to do that, right? I mean, I know he came in the middle of it or after it was created, but these are the things we want to talk about at upcoming meetings. Once a quarter, give us an update on the strategic plan.
so you bring this up, John, because you're thinking.
We just
that-
want background as to what direction we want to go. I mean, we're talking about we need to help jumpstart Engage Franklin more. Again, in that regard too, that plan would inform us in addition to all the documentation. I'm just talking about continuing and completing to your satisfaction the background search. That seems like a really easy source of information to access.
I'm looking for the second page of the agenda from last week. We did talk about the mission statement.
Bill, is it fair to say that in your organization, you know what you want your guide to do for your organization?
Yes.
Like it's got a purpose.
Yes. I think, it's maybe it's not very well stated, but it has multiple purposes. It's, for us, it's to get people to stay in member hotels throughout the state, just to get more people to stay in Wisconsin, just to make money for our association, profitable publication. All three of those things would roll over well into this, right? It's
Right. So those are goals, and that's what I'm saying. I based on some questions you asked, Barbara, I'm just not sure, I'm not sure where the goals on that directory are, for example. I'm just using the directory as an example because we were talking about it. And so that would be good to know because it's hard to know where to supplement if you what your plan is.
Yeah, it's just background information. I mean, you can facilitated planning or strategizing session, a couple hours or an afternoon or a long meeting and look at that stuff.
And I guess that's what
someone
I'm
could pull
asking, what is that? What does that look like? The format of our commission is the amount of things we can do. I mean, with the information we just bring to this, it's going to be limiting to be able to do this work seems to me, in the course of our rate. Sounds like it would be great to be able to ask for certain things to be available and then go into a gathering where we're going to dedicate a certain amount of time, and our goal is to come out of there with some direction, some vision statements maybe for these retention funds that we then can bring to our next meeting and start seeing some motions to formalize. But
Can I tell you what the mission statement was that we confirmed for Engage Franklin is to serve as a destination marketing organization, engaging in tourism promotion, tourism development that positions Franklin as a premier destination for sports, meetings, conventions, leisure, and corporate travel, resulting in economic prosperity for businesses and organizations and improved quality of life for those who live and work. We reviewed this on Monday, and the board confirmed that's our mission statement. But as far as a strategic plan, I still need to get that for you.
so thoughts going around the table here about what is that vision work look like? Is that a special meeting? Is it a series of emails funneled through John just as a central collection point?
It's hard to know. So we know what we have already, right? It's
Information wise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but
Did you get any of these? There was a tourism commission report.
So you're looking at like the dollar amount, Bill?
yeah, well, the dollar amount and what like their strategic plan looks like, what their goals that they're working off of look like.
There's another.
Did you email this? I could have missed an email. The first time.
Bill, what you're looking at is a couple of two things. Carl was more recent, but early on we solicited a destination marketing sort of assessment that we did in conjunction with the city of Franklin, and it was done by Theo. Am I saying that right?
Yep, Theo. Right here's one.
And that was,
You had copies of it. Was it last meeting or 2 meetings?
yeah, a couple meetings ago.
Okay.
And so there's good information in there. And Carl, so we're back to the field. That's where the city's branding, the logo came from.
Mm-hmm.
But part of what we wanted out of that process was what tourism assets do we have here in the area? What do we know? What could we be known for? Why would people maybe visit Franklin? And there were marketing concepts and ideas in here. And then Carl, I think, expanded on that by doing interviews with community leaders, stakeholders in Franklin, and then expanded on that. So between those two documents, Bill, I think you get a good idea of what they thought Franklin could do and promote.
Yeah.
maybe with that information and a vision, like, we could say, well, then why don't we invest in this area? What does that look like?
Okay, so those are the documents I think you sent me right before I came on the commission. I looked through those. I guess where I was going is, what is Engage Franklin Strategic Plan Day, and do they operationalize any business planning off of that for themselves? I guess is that role is
They could have for their operating needs, because they did have that information when they were developing their marketing plan.
okay.
It wasn't done before they got their, I don't think it was available to them for their strategic plan, but it was available later for, as they were setting up their marketing.
Okay.
This helps when we form the committee. We did hold one or more.
We drew a lot of stuff on it.
We used a lot of Post-it notes. And we did that as part of the commission meetings, but I do know there was one or two, right, get-togethers somewhere else as a dated public notice of a work session.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down for a couple hours and worked on things to put together our own mission statement. Is that what we're, with the information from Engage Franklin, is that what we're talking about? To move the needle on the investment vision?
Certainly could help us brainstorm and get some buy-in along the way, right?
I realize you're all busy. Got things going on. I don't know.
That would email conversation started. Can't do it internally here on a. I mean, if you start the email and start getting some type of going, and then we can come and discuss it. Because otherwise we'll be bombarded with ideas, but
yeah.
The whole idea is, I guess the question is using that funds to somehow promote tourism is the big accomplishment, but at what point, what's out there that people know about this, or they may have ideas how to get not sure. They're not coming to us and saying communication has to go both directions. How do we get that communication to Franklin to say, hey, you have an idea to bring tourism to the city, you have an event you're coming, let's talk about it, Somehow we have to do the city website to be able to.
I think that's very key, is the communication. I will tell you, I was just at a meeting not too long ago with a woman who is very active in the community. She had no idea that the dollars that the Tourism Commission has and that have been given to the Rock were not our own property tax dollars. She didn't realize where these dollars are coming from. And I think that is a lack of communication as to where the money comes from. The article that was in the newsletter, Franklin newsletter, about Engage Franklin was very well done, very positive, and all that sort of thing. And nowhere did it mention where their money was coming from. And that was, I think, a major mistake. That it should have made sure that the community knows that they are not paying for it, unless they're staying in a hotel.
I agree with you that that message needs to get out. But from what I do all day, every day, I can tell you that's true in 500 some municipalities throughout the state of Wisconsin. I feel like it's all I ever talk about is room tax stuff. But it's I think we can communicate that message in an effective way, that this is tax revenue that's coming from the lodging industry that's going to support not only the tourism industry here and directly supports the tourism industry, but then when we succeed, helps everybody. And the more people that come here, the more money we make, the more the 30% the city gets to put into their budget and all of that stuff. And it makes it a better place to live because there's more things to do and see, right? So that's a story that I think we industry and as a commission that we can try to tell.
I appreciate the very last sentence, I think, in that mission statement that had to do with the community. And
Well, it's because it's the cap line on our welcome sign.
that's right.
Great.
So I think, yes, we focus on the tourism and bringing people into the community, but we also want to make sure our community likes being here also. And there are many things for them to.
Following up on what you said, the only bit of, when you mentioned it, it is one thing to solicit folks that are in this realm of, tourism promotion or tourism, they have a tourism asset and they've got some ideas for things that always wanted to do it, didn't think it was possible. That is one, they're educated in, they know what could work and what has worked. It's another thing to open up to the general populace of Franklin and just say, we're soliciting information. Because the danger there in my mind is that this isn't, again, these are tourism funds for the promotion of overnight stays. This is not, just tell us your wish list of things that you'd like to see in Franklin. That's not what this is about. This really isn't.
And then then you're going to start hearing the build more sidewalks because the tourists will use
Right.
them.
Exactly, right? And I wish we had a park, a dog park. And those are all worthy endeavors for the city's 30%. That's my concern there is I'm all for communication, but, where is that communication going to? What ideas are coming in? Are they about, are you creating more issues that you have to, deal with by opening it up to a point where you've got people saying, well, I think, then then it becomes a.
And it's part of the fine line we draw, because it's, how do you do that? That's hard to put a dollar to money. But I mean, again, you have to have some type of plan agreeable,
So Jeff, are you suggesting that we maybe each, with a email questionnaire that would go out, like an ISAC questionnaire, simple email that says, hey, we're generate some, what are your thoughts? Generate some ideas on what you think this I like. And we send it to each of you, and then you just reply back. And we use that information to, at a meeting, we review, and we go from there as to what.
And we do that with meeting laws?
I went through your.
I'll check, but I think you could do a questionnaire as long as the results of it, were on the agenda for a meeting, or even the survey itself.
Yeah.
Is that, let's say if we responded to some questions, is that then public information or subject to public information?
That's correct. That's what,
It
like I
would-
say, if it was on the agenda, if it was in the meeting packet, it would
Okay.
be public information.
We just have to be aware of that.
So we'd have somebody develop a survey with ideas, or
Is that just for us?
for the commission?
What I was thinking of is, maybe something that is involved in that is basically a way of focusing comments so that a follow-up.
Or just getting input from the commission.
So one of the questions, Mike, do you believe that an investment vision include helping our DMO in infrastructure? Yes, no, thoughts. Believe that is there a horizon or a timeline for size project? And I think that is a smaller budget item or a smaller large item. To help us kind of figure out what does this look like, and what's the time frame? Something that we hope to allocate most of these funds in the next 3 years, next 5 years. Those are the kind of questions I could see on the help side, but discussion like that.
Devising the questions is my challenge.
So if I could do that over this weekend and get something for your review, just again, this
Draft something up, and I mean, you can ask the commission questions.
Yeah.
They can send their answers back in.
Again, I'm just putting this out. I'm looking for suggestions on how to do it. How do we get that comment? Email some ideas in and then move on from there to developing ideas on this? Or
I guess the big question too is what dollar amount, the growing dollar amount, you know, what's the potential growth, you know, so we have an idea of what we're talking about. I mean, you know, so it's like, okay, we see projection of this dollar amount. We don't do anything with it growing to the point. Then so we know like 5 years from now, we don't do a thing with it, what that dollar amount is. See what type of projects are available to fund. Is it a building, tourism? You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just, you know,
You need some projections on what the
you know, what the
margin's
current
gonna
fund is right now
Right.
versus,
Back up to 100,000
Yeah.
for the field. And I can tell you, Jeff, right now, the way it's currently looking, our 25% that is not, you know, that is staying put within the commission is not all that's being spent. Keep adding to this, and that's only so right. That retention is growing, and I think the idea there is what actions takes funding Franklin appropriately that need to be revisited, and to we'll know where we are like through figured out for the forward. You know, we enter 2025 with we know what our budget is for this year, and I can say we're going to add to that. So I think we'd have a pretty good idea what like a current 2025 retention fund would look like. If one project came up this year, said okay, all in. What's that dollar number? We could. I think we could come.
or is it better to?
Well, right now, like I said at the last meeting, we're about $400,000.
Right. Yeah. Is that before the? Do we have to subtract
That's
100 from it?
That's after.
It's after subtracting.
Correct.
So
Say that again, we have $400,000.
Wait, after our commitment,
Mhm.
our pledge for soccer turf,
Okay.
$400,000 is what we should have in the surplus.
at the end of 2025, or like
I would say at the end of 2025.
so.
You know, I'll have to confirm that. But
Yeah. No, that
that's
sounds
what
about right.
that's what it's looking like from what we saw in the projections that I showed you back in August, showing you what
Mhm.
you know you're going to get for projections coming up this year, and what the surpluses will be, and what the reserve fund is.
And I think it's at that level, that's why there's some urgency, I think, discussion, because it involves, in my mind, a couple of different things. One is just, what do you do with those retention funds, and can you do something that's really meaningful?
Mhm.
Two, do you need to look at that budget every year versus the control that we have over that 25%, and really, we have enough there to really work with, or should we allocate more of what we have to engage Franklin so they can do more, you know? Those are just discussion points. I know we went in our relationship with them with this, and it made sense. I'm just saying, as you're looking at this investment, that vision might be that support of Franklin. To stop this growing retention.
Well, get their project up and running. I mean, it seems like I mean, like this visitor guide, are we going in the right direction, or do we need them to get help with? You know, maybe that's an idea, because it only benefits us as a community.
Right.
I mean, and if they, well, I say they, you know, if our partnership with them can grow better, then maybe they would, you know, so those are things that we should talk about.
At this point, they are free to apply, and that's been discussed before at this meeting, that they can apply for a project.
Yep.
The projects that were cited by Laura was, you know, if we're trying to bring in a convention. or some kind of an event. So they can apply for a project right now if they need to.
So
If you keep that option open, let's not wait.
Right,
and
I'd
come
rather
up with
keep it.
something.
Yeah, let them,
Yeah, and as I
Accelerate
think
this.
Bill said, that micromanaging, isn't
Yeah, I
what
know.
we're here to do, but I think in our oversight role, if we identify, call it an opportunity, that they're in right now, I don't think a gentle nudge or hey, what are you doing about this? And what do you need? And you're right, they should then be able to communicate, well, what we can do is, but it doesn't seem like we're getting those requests. I don't hear the help. I don't hear the, could you guys, I think it makes sense for us to engage a contractor or to do this or get a certain kind of directory out the door. I'm not hearing. Yes.
That because still such a new relationship, they're trying to prove themselves to us that they're not going to come back and ask for more until there's.
Well, Laura brought it up. I think it's just transitions.
I think a
That's
lot
what's
of
going
it
on.
has
That's-
to do with they are just in the last 3 months coming to terms with the size of the nut that they got. Because they had to come up with the money for naming.
Oh, that's.
So they were scrambling with that. Bear in mind, I say they, I'm part of they, but that's been a major concern until really they got the last check. And that's part of why we went and said, hey, let's give them the nut.
Right.
Because we were struggling with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that a motion is necessarily required right now, but maybe some direction. Again, some direction from all of you as far as what that data collection looks like for the vision. Again, is a process of a couple of questions out to you for your feelings on it, funneled back through John, and keep in mind that it's a public document.
I think it's a reasonable starting point. You start with that, and then we can see what everybody comes back with, and we can say, okay, do we have to schedule a separate meeting? We have to have a public meeting. We have to have the mayor come in and give us advice. Former mayor did that one time. Reasonable.
I mean, I feel like I want to see the money go out the door fast, and I'll make no secret that I think we should spend most of it, not hang on to most of it. That's just my view on it. But we should also spend it properly. I don't think we should blow it. So I think we start with that email. We probably are going to want to have some kind of a brainstorming discussion or session or whatever that is. I don't know how that works with open meetings law, so I get that piece of it. But let's loop in at least a couple of engaged Franklin people too, because they're going to be, no matter what we decide, they're going to be affected by it and should get their voice.
And they wouldn't have to be the only group that receives money from us.
Right.
They will, most likely, but there might be some other groups out there also that can request.
So developing the question, you want help from a consultant. I mean, that's what I always do. I hit the easy button and find an expert in the field, and they can help give us some guidance. But if you want to take a whack at it yourself and
I'm open to
come
that.
up with some suggestions, or
No, I'm open. So were you saying we would talking about an AI type thing, or we're talking
No,
about you
no,
would reach out to a consultant and say,
some kind of a tourism consultant. I don't know if they exist, but I mean, they have to. I mean, well, we've got some people that have done some consulting work. That's research. It's not necessarily.
start with the
Okay.
I don't think the first question. I even have the
well, you have given me an idea that I've had some reminding question when asked properly. You get all kinds of good stuff. Why the student start there from a ask it a series of questions to get. Yeah, get this information back. By the next go from schedule work session, or we can handle it during.
You can always schedule a field trip to Acapulco.
I remember we did a couple off-site locations, not quite that far, but I'd be all for that. All right. So I don't know that is a motion that's needed, or can we just, from an administrative standpoint, we'll just, if I take that on as chairperson.
You can produce it, and
All right.
if we need to
If you're all right
discuss it,
with me,
then we can vote on
You're
it.
all right with me generating those questions and sending it to John for his review and let him tweak it if it
I am.
needs.
Yep.
Send it out.
Mhm.
All right.
Good start.
All right. The second part of that unfinished business is the banner bracket project. And, we have quite a bit of map information in your packet here about where these banners are going to end up. City Franklin.
A lot of paper, I guess. The main 2 pages are, if you look at the front page of the handout, it tells you the changes that were made in these maps are on pages 3 and 10. So if you go in the bottom corner, right-hand corner, it'll give you the page number. If you go to page 3, if you take a look, you'll see where the X's are, and the X's with the heavy circles are the ones that I took out. But then I put in some smaller unhighlighted circles to replace them, and those are what We Energies, a couple of polls that We Energies are checking to see if we can utilize them. So these are wooden poles, and we'll bolt directly into the poles. So that's 2 of them on page 3. Then you can just, for time's sake, you can flip all the way back to the last page, and these are. Take a look at the circles on page 10. The ones with the X's through the city poles that we're not going to utilize anymore because they're shorter. They're made out of composite material. I'm not sure if it's like fiberglass lined with metal or anything like that, but some of one of the brackets actually at this intersection is still up with a banner in it, and the 3 of the other brackets are still there. But we can take those out and just replace them with the wooden We Energy poles that I have with the unhighlighted circle. So they just need to come in and do a inspection of those poles and see if they're right. And I've got some extra ones just to pad my odds.
Yeah.
And we could do a straight replacement, utilize them all. So those are the ones that we have to get checked out by We Energies to replace city poles, and a couple that the first 2 were actually misnomer. They were city poles and they weren't We Energy or Wistop poles. So that's going to be the thing maybe we wait on the longest. The application that is being written for that right now to send to the county. And mainly, and you can, if you take a look at these maps, you'll see mostly it's on Ryan and 76th, and bulk of the banners went on Ross. And so that's where they'll be, and it's the county application is for the same poles that we used the last time. So there's not an issue there. They'll get processed, and that has to be done annually. And so WISDOT said, use the same poles that you were approved to use before, and we're good. So that takes us like the third or fourth week of February, and the people that install them say, yep, we can put them up then. It's just like, hey, don't give them my name that I ordered this. Don't tell the workers, but.
No, like February.
We do have the banners and brackets.
And we have to order the bracket, but we do have the banners.
Okay, but I mean,
the bracket.
we have to order brackets already?
Yep.
I mean, is there a lead time on those?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
we should get those on order now.
Yep. We'll do that.
So do we need
No, we already have.
Yeah.
Already.
Now, just for everyone's reference, so you were saying, John, the ones that are highlighted in orange are double brackets.
Yeah, I believe
So
that's what
that
those are. That's what those are, as doubles.
So wherever we see a highlighted orange one, that's a double
Yeah,
bracket. Where if it's just in yellow, is that
it's a single.
single? Okay.
Yep.
So just so you know that as you're looking at it. And secondly, something came to mind. When we contracted with this bracket company, are we contracting for debracketing? Like when stuff is coming off the old city poles? Like this, you know what I'm saying? Or are we
I haven't
obligated to
listed it
remove the
specifically,
bracket?
but I think they were willing to, because some of them were gonna be replaced. Yeah, they would they would be taking the old ones down. But I'll double check.
Yeah, we're on poles where the city said, oh no, you're not putting that up. But there's already no bracket on there, right? Because there's been a change in philosophy, right?
Well, there'll be, some won't have brackets, some will.
Yeah.
Some just lost a banner, and some everything came down.
Okay, but even if it lost a banner, we are gonna replace the bracket because we got these new flexible brackets.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, my main question is, for the brackets that are on poles that are never gonna get a banner anymore, we can't put it there. I wanna know if this bracket off, debracket that pole.
I will ask.
Let the city just say, hey, bracket. There you
Our donation.
go. You put something up there.
Yeah.
I just be curious.
This is a really cool map, this location map, but it shows all of Franklin on one page. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's always the first rule of destination promotions. You gotta give a generalized map. So at least people can find it. Drill down.
Okay, anything else on that, Jen?
No.
And I did just, we, like John mentioned, check that was just cut for the state, county
application.
application to move forward with these brackets or banners. So, okay. Moving on.
So
Oh,
we
good.
will need to basically make last year's budget for this year's budget. Just have to amend that, and I'll bring the amendment for the budget. You know, basically we're going from 15 back to 50 since we didn't spend it last year.
Right.
So
But that can happen next.
yeah,
is that
we
what
can do
you
that next meeting. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll bring that as an agenda item and with a motion.
The next agenda item, new business.
I have some old business. I just forwarded the strategic plan to you, John.
Ah, very good. Thank you.
I've been sitting over here.
I figured if we drug out this meeting another half hour, we should. All right, voucher approvals. Do we have any vouchers to approve? I would like it. Next meeting, February 9th. That works for everybody. That.
Was he going to say Valentine's Day?
Well, we were talking about trying to get out of town, so I am that. Now, that's that week. Oh. So the week before is, never mind. The night. How does that work for everybody else?
I should be back. Depends on the flight.
Okay.
I'm coming back from Hawaii.
Nice. Are you,
A little jet lag.
yeah,
Sure will.
Depends on if the flights are on time.
yeah. Wow. So you've got a early, you're coming back in the morning?
You fly overnight.
Yeah.
Then we arrive in Denver and we get back here like at o'clock Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Okay. All right.
Should be okay.
Well, then the 19th it is at 6 p.m. Passed. All motion. Meeting adjourned.
I so move.
All right. I'll take a motion. For adjournment, a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.